Today on Let's Fish TV, we are at Wright-Patman Reservoir. The water's high, the fish are in the bushes, and we get to use one of my favorite things, and that is a flipping stick. We're gonna be flipping in and around this cover and hopefully catching some big old bass. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. Oh my gosh. Check that out.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
Cobia, big one, and a monster.
Look at that.
That's a Tawakoni giant.
This is Let's Fish.
Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we're at Wright-Patman Reservoir. Wright-Patman Reservoir is just over 20,000 acres, and it's located in the furthest northeast corner of Texas, just outside of Texarkana. You know, this lake is loaded with big bass, and that's what we'll be targeting today. The lake is up, the water is in the bushes, and we're gonna be flipping in and around those bushes trying to catch big bass. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this Bass Cat launch, get everything set up. We'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hi everybody, things are heating up with the first day of summer coming next week. Great news. This weekend, the Salooner tables are predicting excellent fishing conditions throughout both days. Peak daytime action begins at 10:56 on Saturday and 11:50 midday on Sunday. The best evening action will begin around 11:21 on Saturday and midnight on Sunday. Depending on your local area, you can expect the sun to rise around 6:21 and set around 8:39, and evenings will have a new moon. Stay tuned. When we return, we will have fishing reports from throughout the area. Plus, I'll return with MLF angler Shaw Grigsby to answer your Ask a Pro question.
Today we're here on Wright-Patman, and as you can tell, guys, we have an overcast morning. We're not really sure if the fish are gonna be biting in the bushes today, but we are sure gonna go try. You know, normally whenever you're trying to catch fish out of bushes and willow trees, you need the sun. But you know, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. We'll be throwing a popping perch, swim jig, and we'll flip if we have to. But guys, today is gonna be a lot of fun. I've got a feeling we're gonna catch some fish. I'm gonna get out there and see what we can do. There we go, guys. That's a good one there. Whoo! Man, oh man. Nothing like getting a good bush flipping bite. There we go. Check that out, guys. Right in the top, right where you want them to be. Check that bass out. Another great bass here at Wright-Patman Reservoir. Today we're in the northeast side of Texas, flipping a flooded lake called Wright-Patman. You know, this particular lake I have a little bit of history on. I've been here one time. Didn't produce fish this size the last time I was here, but the lake is high, and we're gonna talk about shallow water fishing, how you need to approach shallow water fishing today, and what you need to do to catch these really nice bass. I'm gonna get this fish back real quick, and we'll talk a little bit more about Wright-Patman and exactly what we're targeting here on this really cool lake. One of my favorite ways to catch fish, and that is flipping really heavy cover. And we're talking about big trees, willow bushes, buck bushes. We're in Texas, it's early summer, the fishing's getting really, really good. You know, on a flooded lake like Wright-Patman, there's a lot of different ways you can fish. You can flip cover, you can throw a swim jig, you can throw a frog, you can do all kinds of different things to catch these fish. Today though, I'm gonna lock a flipping stick in my hand and have a good feeling about how the results are gonna go. But we're gonna talk more about that here in just a little while. All the baits you need, the entire setup, and everything that you need to look for. You know, that fish was on an isolated piece of the cover. I'm gonna start targeting that a little bit more, and hopefully we'll put some more nice bass in the boat. So I'm gonna get back to fishing. Hopefully we'll catch us a few more here in just a few minutes.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Hey, we've been the leader in water sports for over 50 years. We want to continue to take care of you, and we have got some new things going on. We've got a tackle shop. We've got live bait there at the dock. Come down, let one of our attendants go get your bait for you. Easy trips, easy way to come pull right up to the dock. Visit crazysistermarina.com for more information. Let's talk about things going on in the saltwater. And just last week, I was able to get out and fish the Jolly Mon King Mackerel Tournament out of Ocean Isle myself. My team finished 15th. We were super excited, but there were some incredible fish caught. Right now, if you really want to get out and target a big king mackerel, bring your patience with you and work those schools of bait on the beach, on those near shore reefs, right outside of Georgetown, outside of Little River in Charleston. Those fish are going to stack up there right now. It's a wonderful thing to get out there and fish in those tide lines at those jetties and at those mouths of those inlets, but also anywhere with structure where those bigger fish are going to go find some peace and solitude away from all those smaller fish. If you want to get a big king, now's the time to go do it. And big bait bluefish are the way to do it. Catching lots of bluefish and Spanish right on the beach as well with Clark spoons. But now's the time to get out. Y'all make sure you take a kid with you. Also, this has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Oh no, he's still in there. Oh man. There, oh yeah, big one. Oh man. There we go, guys. Oh, check that out. That's what I'm talking about. That's a Wright Patman stud. Look at, I barely had him. Hook just fell out. One of the most important aspects of flipping is keeping a tight line. You know, I knew that I had a bite there, and as soon as I picked up, it was heavy, and I didn't want to take a risk with it. And man, what an awesome, awesome bass. Let's get this fish back real quick. We're going to talk about Wright Patman, what you need to do when you come back here. You know, that fish really clued me in right there. You know, one of the most important things is being patient and finding areas and covering water where you can find fish. You know, it's not always about finding the exact type of bush that they're on, but sometimes it's about just covering water and finding an area that actually has bass in it. When you find an area that has bass in it, therefore you can kind of pick it apart, you can catch them off of willow trees. That was actually just a laydown right there. But one of the big keys right there that I can't stress it enough is when you know that you have a bite. And flipping heavy cover, it can be hard sometimes. You know, when you pick up and it's heavy, a lot of times there is a fish on there, but I set the hook on it, I never really felt the fish. I dropped my rod a little bit, but I kept my line tight. Once I dropped my rod a little bit, I felt the fish pull a little bit, and I knew at that point the fish was still on there. I winched on it a little bit more and I was able to get that fish out. But having the right gear, I can't stress this enough, having the right gear is so important when it comes to flipping this really heavy cover. I'm flipping a 7.5 foot heavy action Lew's Custom Pro rod. This is a rod that I have used for a really long time. It has the perfect tip and parabolic bend for flipping fluorocarbon. You know, I really like to flip fluorocarbon. This is 25-pound Strike King Tour grade fluorocarbon. I flip 25 or even sometimes 30-pound fluorocarbon when I'm flipping. I think it's really important to be able to land those fish. So in a 7:5 to 1 gear ratio reel, you can go up to an 8 or a 9 to 1 gear ratio. I'm just really comfortable with a 7:5 to 1 gear ratio. This is a Pro TI, and it's just a comfortable rod and reel combo. You gotta find what works for you though. You know, there's some of my friends that like to flip with a 7.3 or a 7.4 heavy action rod, but for me, I really like that 7.5 footer. When I get in a situation like that fish right there, I'm able to land the fish more times than not. So having the right equipment, keeping that line tight, you will catch more fish. I'm gonna get back to it and see if I can catch a couple more Wright Patman studs.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Power Pull. Total Boat Control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
There we go. There's a nice one. Oh, all right, guys. guys, I'm gonna show y'all exactly how to flip bushes. You know, one of the biggest questions I always get asked is, where do I flip? How do I flip and things like that? So the most important thing is when you're flipping a bush, you wanna aim towards the middle of the bush. You know, you'll hear guys talk about, well, you can flip the edge and things like that. Most of the time, I would say almost 90% of the time, the fish is gonna be in the dead middle of the bush. And that is the importance of having the right size weight and that really big line and that big rod. So, you know, the most important thing though is get your bait to the heart of the bush and let it go down. Oh God, oh man, he come off. But you know, that's the cool thing. I got that bait to the heart of the bush, that fish came up there and smoked it. I was actually leaning it over a limb trying to get it down to the bottom. Whew, my heart stopped. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I wasn't ready for that. But it's so important. You know, I'm dead middle of that tree right there. I flip in there and I'd accidentally gone over a limb and that's when the fish ate it. But a near miss, but I got to teach you a little bit about flipping bushes and what to look for when you're out here flipping. I think I can catch me another one. This place has them. There we go. There's a nice one. Oh, all right, guys. There we go, another nice fish. He's got spots all over him. Look at that, guys. Isn't that crazy? It's got black spots everywhere. I'm gonna teach y'all a really important lesson with this particular fish, but let's get this fish back real quick and we'll talk a little bit about that lesson and how to catch them flipping here on Right Pattern. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how that went down. I was going down this bush line and I was flipping a rage bug and I flipped up in the spot. Fish ate it, I missed it. I didn't hook it. I know for a fact I didn't hook it. I felt it come out of the fish's mouth. It was one of those fish where when you flipped in there, it just sat there with the bait. And a lot of times if you pull up real slow, when it gets heavy like that, you can detect the bite. But in this situation, I missed it. So instead of just getting really upset and panicking, what I did is I continued to fish down the bush line, and about 5 minutes later, I came back to the same bush, picked up a different bait. In this situation, I picked up a Strike King Ocho, flipped in the bush, and as soon as it went down, the fish ate it. The deal is whenever you're flipping this flooded, you know, the flooded bushes, whether it be willow trees, cypress trees, buck bushes, whatever it may be, the most important thing is to remember exactly where you flipped. In that situation, I knew exactly where I had flipped. I came back to the exact same flip and the fish was still sitting there. So moral of that story is pay attention, always pay attention to where you're flipping at all times, because a lot of times you can catch that fish even if you miss it.
Hey y'all, welcome to my favorite part of the show, the Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia Coastal Fishing Report. This segment is brought to you by me, Captain Patrick Garmison with Ugly Fishing. You can check out my website at uglyfishing.com. You can book online, you can check availability. It's real easy, uglyfishing.com. Also some money-saving opportunities on the homepage with Salt's Gone, lurenet.com, and Pure Flats Fishing, creator of the Slick Lure. Speaking of the Slick Lure, we're still throwing that thing a little bit in the shallower waters, targeting speckled trout, especially around sandy bottom mixed with grass. That seems to be a really good area to target speckled trout throwing a Slick Lure. Either try to match that watercolor with some sort of light color that'll blend in with the water, or something that'll really pop and stand out like the dirty ice will. In addition to speckled trout fishing around the Alabama coast, we have jacks around, we have Spanish mackerel, big blue fish, flounder, redfish. Man, really the list goes on. This time of the year, just find you some good clean water, somewhere where it's not really beat up from a bunch of wave action. Mississippi coast, those guys are experiencing a lot of the same stuff as we are. Some shallow water speckled trout opportunities, as well as some nearshore reefs, catching your sheephead, black drum, redfish. Along the Georgia coast, Mike Mosley Jr. With top of the line charters out of Savannah, Georgia, said that the shark and the jack bite is really heating up along the beaches. He said there's also some tarpon moving in as well. He said bait is still a little bit scarce, but he said any day now that stuff's gonna be just everywhere. Hey y'all, thanks for catching this report. Y'all keep what you need, leave the rest, and God bless, guys.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Mamba Boats, Ride with Pride, Strike King, Taiwan On, Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
There we go. Oh my gosh, guys. I can't even begin to tell you what just happened right there. Remember, we had a bunch of bites in this one little section. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, man, oh man. There we go. That's crazy. Look at that fish. He's all beat up. He's been spawning. He's got a bunch of sores on him. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Not a bad fish at all. Man, they are really loving this Strike King Ocho. This green pumpkin magic is the color. And this is just a bait that when it comes to this situation, I really like to turn to. But God, look at all the sores on the side. That's all from spawning. You know, we're dealing with post-spawn fish right now. They're loading up in these bushes. Throw this fish back real quick. Oh, I got her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, come here, fish. Come here. There we go. Oh my gosh, guys. I can't even begin to tell you what just happened right there. I couldn't move my boat because I was so close to the tree and she ate it. Holy cow. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That was unexpected, but that's so, this is probably the most important part of flipping bushes is being quiet. You know, that fish, my boat just drifted in and it got too close. So I just kind of dropped it over the side. And as soon as I lifted up, the fish had eaten it because it tried to eat it off the top. Holy crap, my heart is pumping. Whew. I could get this fish back and we're gonna talk a little bit more about right pattern and who you need to call the next time you're in this area. That is the importance of fishing quietly. You know, like I pulled in here and I didn't bump the trolling motor, I didn't spook the fish. But you know, I gotta give a really big shout out to a really good buddy of mine, Michael Yoder. You know, the thing about Yoder, he's been a good friend of mine for a long time. He's over at Jones Trolling Motor and Marine Electronics out of Texarkana, and I called him up and I said, hey man, I hadn't been to Wright Patman in about 12 years. Can you point me in the right direction? And he said, man, this is the area you need to go to. It's got a bunch of flooded bushes and willows. You're gonna feel right at home. Get your flipping stick out and have some fun today. And that's exactly what we did. So if you want information on Wright Patman, you need to go check out Jones Trolling Motor and Marine Electronics there in Texarkana. They will absolutely hook you up, tell you everything you need to know, and sell you a few baits in the process. But overall, guys, today has been a lot of fun. We've caught a lot of bass and had a lot of really great flipping bites. And honestly, it's a place that I can't wait to come back to. I mean, anytime I can pick up a big stick and pick up some of my favorite flipping baits, it's gonna be a good day. But one last thing, I wanna do one more little shout out, and that is to my reporters. You know, our insider reporters that you hear every single week on the show. I don't think I give those guys enough credit. You know, they really go above and beyond to get you great fishing reports. And it is so important what they do, you know, because they really do the research. They're fishing all the time and they get you all those great reports of all the different species of fish from your local area. So thank you, reporters. Thank you so much for everything you do for the show. Guys, I think I'm about to head in. It's kind of getting dark outside. I would like to catch one more if I can, but you know what? I'm not gonna be greedy today. So we're gonna head back to the ramp and we'll see y'all here in just a second.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion. Glacier Outdoors since 1982.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right on over to your Ask the Pro question for this week. This week, Monty would like to know, what is something you would tell your younger self to be a better fisherman? For the answer, we asked MLF angler Shaw Grigsby.
Hi, I'm Shaw Grigsby, and here's a question I got asked. What would I tell myself as a younger angler to be a better angler? That's a good question. What would I change? What would I do differently? And to answer that question, here it is. I would take things very seriously. I would work on details, and details are very important to figure out why the fish are doing this, why they migrate, why they move, what makes them do these things, so that you can always stay in contact with them. And I know I have always been more of a happy-go-lucky, have fun guy. I'm good to go. I smile, laugh, have a good time, and that's cost me in a few situations. So, but that's what I say. Take it seriously, man. You can go as far as you want to in this sport.
Thank you so much, Shaw, and a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Thank you so much for all that you do. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com. Follow that Ask the Pro link to submit a question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today on Rat Patman, I used a two-prong approach to catch my bass. You know, the very first rod I picked up, especially when I saw the depth of water in the bushes, was a 3/4 ounce Strike King tungsten weight with a Magnum game hog. The color was California crawl, and I was pitching it in and around the deepest bushes that I could find. I caught that really nice fish to start out the day, 65-pound tour grade braid, a 7.6, this is actually the Super Duty Speed 6, a 7.6 heavy action with a Super Duty 300. I really like to flip with that setup. It is a fantastic setup for braid. Now, once I realized that maybe the area that I was fishing was getting way too much pressure, I downsized my bait to a 5-inch Strike King Ocho. 3/8 ounce Strike King weight was really important, but let me tell you one little cool trick here, is I always use a 3/0 straight shank flipping hook. This hook right here, this is a really important aspect. You don't want to use a 4/0. The 4/0 overpowers the worm. The 3/0 allows you to slide in and around that cover. 25-pound Strike King Tour Grade fluorocarbon, a 7.6 loose flipping stick. This is heavy action with a Pro TI, loose Pro TI. Guys, Right Patman was so much fun, and we fished it on an overcast day. I'm telling you guys, if you come out here, you come out on a sunny day, and you get around these bushes and these willow trees, it will change your life, and you will have so much fun flipping in and around that heavy cover. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. Can't wait to show you the next lake, and until next time, I'll see you on the water.